Listen with intention. There is an identity within you that can no longer remain. Not something to destroy by force, but something to release with purpose. A mindset that seeks comfort, avoids truth, delays growth, and quietly steals tomorrow from today. If it is not confronted, it will continue to limit what your life was meant to become. Failure is not the real danger. Settling is. Remaining small when you were designed for expansion. Becoming skilled at surviving, but never learning how to rise. Accepting average while greatness quietly leaves the room. Growth is not luck. It does not visit randomly. Growth responds to demand. It answers only those who decide that remaining the same is no longer an option. The person you once needed to be is not the person who will take you forward. That version was built during confusion, trained by fear, and shaped by pressure. But it does not belong in the future you are trying to create. Wishing for better days is powerless without becoming better yourself. A new life does not begin with circumstances. It begins with character. And building character is not polite or gentle. Change will stretch you. It will test you. It will confront the habits that kept you comfortable but kept you limited. You cannot carry yesterday's mindset into tomorrow's promise. The thinking that once protected you will now restrain you. And if you do not dismantle it, it will dismantle your destiny. If you desire a different outcome, you must release the old identity that feeds on familiar pain. Transformation does not feel like victory. It feels like pressure before breakthrough. Do not run from the pressure. It is proving that something stronger is being developed within you. What feels like pain is often weakness, giving way to strength. There is a greater version of you watching in silence, waiting for your decision, not your emotion, to lead. The former you negotiates with time. The new you commands it. The former you avoids responsibility. The new you invites it. The former you numbs with distraction. The new you sharpens with discipline. You cannot reach tomorrow while still carrying yesterday. Growth requires daily release. A conscious choice to move when comfort says stay still. To build when applause is absent. To act when motivation is silent. Real growth is not found in ease. It is found in resistance. In choosing who you are becoming over who you have been. Stop asking life for simple. Simple creates weak foundations. Ask for truth. Ask for challenge. Ask for the weight that builds strength. Because the version of you that carries power, peace, and purpose is not on the way. It is already within you, waiting to be activated. The greater version of you is not gone. He is just buried. Buried beneath habits that make you small. Buried under excuses that make you weak. Buried behind distractions that keep you asleep. And only one person can uncover him, not with talk, not with wishing, but with consistent disciplined movement. You cannot rise while remaining loyal to the past. That loyalty must end. The identity that settles for less, avoids responsibility, and hesitates at opportunity must be dismissed. Yes, dismissed. Because that version has delayed your destiny long enough. If elevation is your desire, then conflict is required. You must confront your weaknesses. You must make your old routines uncomfortable, your old thinking unacceptable, your old behavior impossible to tolerate. Trying to repair who you used to be is a waste of energy. That identity was never built for where you are going. He is not broken. He is outdated. He does not need improvement. He needs replacement. And replacement will not come from chance or optimism. It will come from deliberate, relentless growth. This is not a message to motivate you. It is a message to prepare you. Because average has a force. And if you do not resist it intentionally, it will quietly pull you backward. Understand this clearly. Change will take from you your comfort, your ego, your excuses. But refusing to change will take far more. It will drain your purpose. It will steal your peace. It will shrink your potential. So stop waiting for perfect conditions. They do not exist. The only moment that matters is the one you seize. Decide today that your limits no longer lead you. Decide today that your past no longer votes. Decide today that your life will not be governed by emotions, but commanded by decisions. Growth does not respond to feelings. It responds to action. You will feel exhausted, continue. You will feel afraid, advance. You will feel uncertain, move anyway. Because fear fades when you exceed it. Doubt dies when progress becomes louder. The former you disappears when comfort is removed and discipline takes control. Understand this, your old self was formed without intention, built through habits you never chose, influenced by beliefs you never questioned, shaped by pain you never healed. But the new you will be created on purpose. He will not arise from ease. He will be developed through adversity. He will be trained in silence. He will be refined in isolation. And one day he will stand. Not because fortune favored him, but because you did. You chose perseverance over pleasure. You chose strength over approval. You chose growth over ease. This is the journey of all great men. They outgrow history. They outlast weakness. They overpower distraction. They shed the familiar for the extraordinary. And that is exactly what is happening now. This is not self-improvement. This is revival. And it begins with one decision: I will no longer shrink myself to fit who I used to be. Every day you hesitate, the old version of you gains ground. Every time you excuse laziness, he tightens his hold. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you grant him another day of life. Enough. The world does not need another man trapped in yesterday. The world needs you, the real you, the focused you, the bold, fire-driven, risk-taking truth-speaking version who no longer waits to be chosen because he has already chosen himself. The man who no longer tiptoes around his potential, but owns it unapologetically. This version is not built overnight. He is forged brick by brick, decision by decision, moment by moment in discomfort. And with each brick, you rise from the ashes of your past, from the wreckage of old beliefs, from the prison of comfort. You were never designed to remain the same. You were never built to plateau. You were created for evolution. Evolution is not optional. It is urgent. You either evolve or you decay. You either rise or you rot. You either destroy the old version of you or you become him. So choose now, not later. Now, because if you do not outgrow your past, it will become your graveyard. You were not born to die in mediocrity. You were born to build something lasting. But to build, everything must be new. The foundation, the man, the habits, the commitment, nothing less will suffice. And yes, it will be hard, but hard is the path to greatness. Growth thrives in resistance. Strength emerges from struggle. Mastery is earned through repetition. And greatness comes to the one who buries his former self without ceremony. The one who forces himself each day to outgrow who he was yesterday. That man is you. Transformation does not happen by waiting. It does not arrive as claimed. You do not wait to evolve. You command evolution. Through repetition, through effort, through dismantling the thoughts, behaviors, and boundaries that no longer serve your mission. It will feel unnatural because you are leaving behind the identity that once protected you. But safety is not the goal. Strength is. You must challenge everything the old you called normal. Normal is the cage. Normal is the graveyard of potential. The version of you who hits snooze, avoids responsibility, distracts himself. He is not your ally. He is your captor. And the moment you see him for what he is, you reclaim your power. Develop zero tolerance for your own excuses. Cultivate a deep disgust for stagnation. Reject old patterns so completely that remaining the same becomes unbearable. That is when the shift occurs. When you stop hoping for growth and start demanding it. There is no luxury of delay. While you hesitate, your potential sits locked away, unused, unlived, unchallenged. Break it free. Break it free with action, with intensity, with a daily standard that declares, who I was is no longer acceptable. Who you were may have carried you this far, but who you are meant to become is non-negotiable. If your goal is to go further, it is not enough to tweak habits. You must overhaul your identity. Stop calling yourself a man of potential. That title fades quickly. Be the man who acts, who completes, who does not chase transformation as a dream. He lives it. Every choice, every word, every action must pass through this filter. Does this serve the man I am becoming or the man I am leaving behind? Once you commit to the next level version of yourself, nothing is casual anymore. Your food, your schedule, your thoughts, your relationships, all must align with the vision. All must serve the upgrade, and you must guard that vision fiercely, like a lion defends his den, because doubt will come, distraction will come. The temptation to revert will call your name. Ignore it. When it whispers, just this once, respond not anymore. When it says, you've done enough today, ask enough for who? The man I was or the man I am becoming? The old version of you does not step aside quietly. He claws. He bargains. he rationalizes. And if you entertain him even briefly, you breathe life back into your limitations. That is why I tell you, do not negotiate with him. Starve him. Replace him with new rituals, new beliefs, new standards so strong they suffocate the weakness you once tolerated. Information will not save you. Immersion will. Radical, full immersion into the life you were created to live. Read what strengthens you. Listen to what sharpens you. Surround yourself only with those who reflect your greatness, not your excuses. Audit your circle. Growth will make you outgrow people. That is not betrayal, it is alignment. Some will call your evolution arrogance. Let them. They are attached to the version of you that kept them comfortable. You did not come this far to shrink for approval. You came to ignite. Fire does not ask permission. Fire does not apologize for burning what cannot rise with it. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to rise. Rising demands that you confront your past, disrupt old patterns, and destroy every version of yourself built merely to survive so that you can thrive. Yes, destroy him. The lazy you, the anxious you, the overthinking you, the insecure you, they were forged from past pain, old conditioning, and compromise. They are not who you are. They are what you unlearn to become the person you are meant to be. Do not try to heal the old you. That is no longer your job. Your job is to create someone stronger, someone wiser, someone who wakes with purpose and sleeps with progress. Your responsibility is to show up for your future self like your life depends on it, because it does. Let me tell you the truth. Most will never speak it. Success is not gentle. It is not soft. It does not make exceptions for feelings. Success demands that you release every belief that cushions weakness. The man who waits to feel ready will never evolve. The man who moves forward despite fear, he builds a legacy that cannot be shaken. He is the man who no longer acts on motivation, but on unwavering standards. He no longer seeks approval because he has already granted it to himself. He no longer asks, can I become great? He expects it. Greatness is inevitable because his life is structured for it. You must become that man. Becoming him is intense. It requires outworking, outthinking, and outlasting the version of you that settles. But know this, it is possible. Not because you are special, but because you are willing. Willing to endure discomfort. Willing to walk alone when needed. Willing to demand results even when no one is watching. Because growth happens in the shadows. Not when praised. Not when convenient. But when discipline guides you in silence. Not when celebrated. But when you honor yourself for doing what must be done. And if you persist, the man who once held potential becomes the man who fulfills it. Why? Because you kept the promise. The promise to outgrow the man who feared rejection, who stayed small for acceptance, who played safe to avoid discomfort. You buried him, and in his place you built someone undeniable. Someone whose life proves that discipline is sacred. Someone whose habits declare, I was not born to blend. I was born to break patterns. Here is the ultimate truth. The most powerful version of you has always existed. Not waiting for luck. Not waiting for rescue. Waiting for you to stop apologizing for your hunger. This journey is not about becoming someone else. It is about removing everything that is not you. Fear, excuses, laziness. These were inherited behaviors from a former self who did not know his power. Now you know. And knowing means there is no going back. You may stumble. You may falter. But retreat is not an option. You've seen too much, felt too much, evolved too much. There is only up. So rise. One more time. One more level. One more version. This time, commit. The focused, bold, relentless version of you stays. There is no greater battle than the one between who you were and who you are destined to be. And that battle is not fought once. It is fought every morning, every choice, every act of resistance against the voice that urges you to remain the same. Let me tell you what the world will not. Staying the same is suffering disguised as safety. The man who refuses to grow is not escaping pain. He is only choosing a slower, quieter version of it. Stagnation feels comfortable until the cost appears. Until one day you wake surrounded by mediocrity, buried in regret, haunted by the man you could have become. That is why I say, be relentless with your evolution. Do not simply outgrow the old you. Bury him beneath a mountain of discipline. Raise a new standard so high he could never return. The process of becoming unrecognizable is not poetic, it is not gentle, it is violent, and it must be. For rebirth The old must burn. No more negotiating with old patterns. No more conversations with doubt. No more romanticizing distractions, excusing inaction, or tolerating softness. You are ascending or decaying, leading yourself with ruthless focus, or following impulses into stagnation. If you want true freedom, the kind few ever taste, it comes through discipline. It comes when your standards are so elevated that the old you struggles to exist in their presence. He cannot survive here. This new environment is built for performance, power, purpose, persistence. And the old identity, allergic to it, let him suffocate. Let the weak man die. The one who said tomorrow. The one who waited for inspiration. The one who repeated the same year and called it growth. He was never going to take you anywhere. He was a placeholder, a shadow. Now you lead. You are no longer a passenger in your own story. You have taken the wheel. And with that power comes responsibility. To execute, to endure, to evolve without permission. Support is optional. Consensus is irrelevant. Standards are everything. A man with standards does not need motivation. His life moves in alignment with his decisions. Every action, every step, every breath measured against one question, does this serve the man I am becoming? If yes, it remains. If no, it is removed. This is how growth works. You subtract, you strip, you sever until only truth remains, until only strength remains. And in that space, the new you emerges, not just stronger, but unshakable. When you eliminate every excuse, every weak identity, every limiting belief, what is left is a man who cannot be broken. A man whose results are intentional, not random. A man who does not hope for success, he expects it, because he lives in a way that demands it. And that expectation transforms everything. It reshapes your posture, your voice, your presence. People may not see the change, but they feel it. They will know something is different because you no longer carry the weight of who you used to be. You walk in the power of who you chose to become. In that moment, you stop speaking to life like a beggar. You speak like a builder. You declare, this is my standard. This is my path. This is my legacy. Anything that does not align, habit, thought, or relationship will not survive. Yes, there will be grief. Grief for the man you used to be, liked, accepted, predictable. But grieve fast. He kept you average, and you were never built for average. You were built to embody fire, to carve your name into history with vision, work ethic, and unbreakable will. You were built to lead like a general commands an army, with clarity, presence, and intentional force against anything that threatens the mission, and the mission, to become the man no one expected, especially the man you once were. This is your duty, not to outshine others, not to prove doubters wrong, but to honor your higher self. He is watching, waiting, whispering, don't stop, don't settle. He knows what is at stake. He knows what happens if you slow down, soften, or forget why you began. If that happens, the old version of you wins. And if he wins, you lose everything. That is the battle. That is the war. That is why you must push farther than ever before. Push through fatigue with fury. Rise in pain with precision. Move in fear with faith. Faith is not only spiritual, it is strategic. It is the belief that persistent action, discipline, and elimination of what no longer belongs will force the life you seek into existence. It will not be given. It will not be gifted. It will be pulled into being by the man who outgrew every weaker version of himself and never looked back. That man is you. The man who stopped waiting for growth and chose to force it. The man who blurred out excuses and stood tall in their absence. The man who mastered his mind, his schedule, his impulses, until success became inevitable. Real transformation is not a single moment. It is a series of moments where courage beats comfort, clarity beats confusion, creation beats convenience. That choice becomes your identity. Do not stop now. Not when you are this close. The final test is always the loudest. Your old self will scream. Fatigue will mount. Pressure will rise. That is not a signal to quit. It is a signal to finish. One more push. One more refusal to yield. One more hour of silent, disciplined action, and the old you is gone. You replace him, not with someone who has it all figured out, but with someone who refuses to stop figuring it out. That man is unstoppable. That man is inevitable. That man is you. And now, as you move forward, understand this. There is no finish line. There is no final version. Outgrowing the old you is not a phase. It is a lifestyle, a daily death, a daily resurrection, a relentless commitment to never retreat, never repeat, never recycle the man you were. It is a vow. I will never live as a shadow of my potential again. This vow is not emotional. It is strategic, structural. Built into your habits, your schedule, your non-negotiables. It pays you in power, peace, presence. You walk taller, speak clearer, lead stronger because you earned it. Earned in sweat, in silence, in solitude. Earned by forcing yourself to outgrow what was safe, soft, familiar. Now, you no longer resemble the man you were. You do not just have stronger habits, a sharper mind, or more discipline. You have become someone entirely new. And this someone does not chase success. He attracts it because he is success in motion.